Hey, you. Yes, you. Thanks for watching, guys. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in today's video. And the reason for this video is that I know that I haven't been reviewing a lot of my videos. Don't get me wrong, the quality is bad. Yes, that's why I linked a lot of the descriptions to the book themselves down in the video, on this video below. This video, you guys, is meant for the purpose of, just helping get a general understanding of what the fascinating world of Oswald is about and all the context within it. So I really hope this video helps, and thank you so much for tuning in. The story takes place in a fictional town called Wombath, but it's heavily inspired by Beaufort West in South Africa. I've always found places like Beaufort West fascinating. It's one of those towns that feel small and when you're driving through. But when you stop and really look around, you start noticing how much history and beauty surrounds it. It's located right in the heart of the Karoo, a region known for its huge open landscapes, dry plains, rocky hills, and distant mountain ranges. The roads seem to stretch forever, and sometimes it feels like the sky is even bigger than the land itself. Growing up around South African landscapes, I've always loved that feeling of endless space. There's something about standing out there and looking across kilometers of open land that makes you wonder what's beyond the horizon. In Wombath, I wanted to capture that exact feeling. The town itself is a quiet, peaceful, and mysterious place, but beyond it lies vast wilderness and other things. The kind of place where a kid could spend hours exploring and still feel like there's more to discover. The sunsets paint the sky orange and gold, and at night the stars seem close enough to touch. When you're surrounded by that kind of beauty, it almost feels believable that magic could exist somewhere out there. I wanted the story to feel grounded, as well as still being a fantasy adventure. I wanted readers to see places that felt familiar while experiencing something extraordinary. Now let's talk about some of the characters. And the thing about this town is that I visited it myself, and it was just so beautiful. The people were lovely, kind, and most importantly, it was quiet. And that's one of the aspects I really love about this quiet, boring town. How Oswald doesn't, blend out of place, except he's not so boring life. I feel like that's one of the most important elements of the story, is to highlight Oswald and his environment. Despite everything contradicting, I want there to be a symbolic meaning to a lot of things within the world. And the town in itself, has those beautiful mountain ranges and landscapes that really add on to the overall effect that the series and show, goes into detail with, as Oswald continues to have his many adventures throughout these landscapes. And I feel like that's a big part of why I took inspiration from this town in itself. A big inspiration. And jumping into our main characters, guys, or our main cast, we're starting off with Oswald. Oswald is very much my favorite character, if it wasn't obvious already. He is one of the most very much connected characters to the series. I love his authenticity. He's very much unique in giving us all the elements of, introverted kid trying to make his way through life. And I really love that about him. If it wasn't obvious already, it's kind of like a representation of myself, which I like very much. And he's my favorite by far. Next up, we have Jacob. Jacob is very much like his older brother. He looks up to him, he loves him, and tries his best to support his brother in everything that he does. Jacob is very much useful. Not like that, but he's kind of like the sidekick, but very much important and crucial to the story. He isn't a background character or a side character. He's very much Oswald's right hand man, and I love him very much because my favorite thus far as well, but not like Oswald, but also my favorite. Harold is the dad, he's the father, and I really have personal connection with Harold because he reminds me of my dad and how strong he is and how brave he is and how loving he is and how caring. And to be able to have a dad in my life, this was one of the greatest blessings I could ever receive. And Harold is a representation of that in a way, because he stands up for his kids. He's misguided most of the time, but comes to his senses once he sees what he's doing is wrong, and that's true masculinity. Next up is Amelia. Amelia is Jacob and Oswald's mother. She's very much the heart of the story. I really love her a lot because she is very much passionate about what she does and is kind of a bland character, so to speak. And I really love that because in a fun, fantastical world where there's a lot of magical things that are going to be happening in the story, she keeps everybody grounded to realism, and she's going to show more emotion than the rest of the cast. And as if it wasn't obvious already, also gets a lot of his characteristics from him. I really love these characters because they do just simplify a lot of things for me going on into the story, as these characters will be, based on wow factors, and I really love them because, again, they represent the best traits of my own family, and that is one of the best things I could ever do for myself, honestly, because my art is a self-expression of my mental state at the time, my beliefs, my loves, my passions, and my hopes for the future and stuff like that. And these characters, whenever I look back at them, I can't help but smile and enjoy just they're great and they feel alive to me. And this might not be appealing to everyone, but I really do care about these characters. That's why they are the main characters or the main cast. And again, also my favorite thus far, because I'm planning on introducing more later on in the story in the series, because I haven't really caught up to at least 10 issues, which was my goal. So currently at 3, hence why this video and not Oswald issue 4 as of yet, because I'm still busy with a couple of projects as well, but also being the main focus, I'm going into that, and it's going to be one heck of a ride, so be prepared for it, guys, and I can't wait to see you there. Getting into the plot of the story now, guys, the meat of the entire structure, exploring Oswald and his fascinating world. Going off into the story, we discover that Oswald is kind of a introverted, outcasted character who, shares different traits from his peers that often limits him to making more friends, as people see him as more of an outsider than anything else. Oswald, despite this, doesn't mind, as he enjoys passions in collecting bugs or insects, so to speak. And this type of passion makes him type of a freak to others, and that's okay for him because he doesn't quite mind it, even though for others he's kind of seen as bleh at best. They see him as just this kind of weird kid who does certain things. As Oswald is now approaching the tender age of 13, he gets a lot of bullying most of the time because he's about to enter high school, and his father sees that this is something dangerous, as Oswald might get bullied later on in high school and he might not grow out of this childhood phase, so to speak. And because of this, Oswald feels like he does need to actually maybe go on a camping trip with his father so he can explore his masculinity, so he isn't further isolated going into high school, because again, he doesn't want others to find him very boring. Oswald and his dad, Jacob, go on a camp. Anything they set their strength to. I think that's what Harold is trying to give his kids, as they're about to go into a dog eat dog world type of thing. But Oswald himself, he later on will show signs that he doesn't quite like being
there because a lot of weird things are happening that he finds weird, like seeing animals for the first time and breathing like chlorophyll. So he finds this a huge danger sign, and he goes exploring. And one of his escapades as he's collecting insects, cause he tried to use this as an excuse as well to like try to collect some new samples. Amongst his travels, finds a bear, well, a bear cub, trying to get some honey, or what he believes is honey, from a honeycomb, but turns out to be a wasp's nest. As it falls and the wasps begin attacking the bear cub, Oswald knows better than to leave the bear cub behind like that. Being a hero, kind-hearted character, Oswald swats away the bugs, and later that night at camp, as he's injured by the swelling from the wasp attacking him, he's paid a small little visit one night in his tent from a very unlikely being for his kind-hearted actions, a beautiful, majestic fairy. This fairy tells Oswald that because of his righteous act, his kind-heartedness, she will be granting him one wish. And Oswald is baffled by this at first and doesn't honestly know what to do. But as the lady explains further, Oswald comes to and can't think of anything except how boring he is and wants to spice up his life quite a bit, not knowing that he actually wished for more than he could handle. And that's where the adventure begins, in a sense, for young Oswald.